Bang, bang. Lunch money time. While Wall Street's trying to get rich, the rest of us trying to get our lunch money right. I'm here with Carol fucking. Polina Marinova, Pompliano.
Whoa.
What's up?
Whoa, guys, it's getting real.
For those that don't know, Polina's middle name is Ivailova. And so if you put
Why you
Polina,
do that?
Polina, Ivailova, Marinova, Pompliano, the initial spell pimp.
Let's not get that going.
When I found that out, I knew we were going to get married.
Let's not get that going.
Don't forget, BlockFi now sponsors Lunch Money. If you go and open an account before July 18th and fund it, you get 2 times the amount of interest in their interest-bearing account for the month of August. No brainer. They pay up to 8.6% interest in their interest-bearing deposit account. Go and sign up. Use the link in the description. No brainer. All right. What's up, Miss Pompliano?
All right. I never thought this day would come. So make sure you enjoy it because it's probably not going to come again.
It will.
But you're right. In the beginning of COVID, when you said that the coronavirus would act as a catalyst for protests around the world.
Say that again for the people in the back.
No.
Say I was right?
No.
Okay.
But major protests are breaking out against governments in several countries after coronavirus sparked fury over grievances, including economic problems and alleged corruption or incompetence. Israel, Lebanon, my own country, Bulgaria, Serbia. People are just raging against the government, saying that they're using coronavirus to
to manipulate the people.
Be a dictatorship.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, again, whether right or wrong, you cannot, as a government, tell your people to go inside and not have a path for a prosperous life.
I think Serbia is rising up because they put on these, what's it called? Curfews.
Yeah. So here's a perfect example, right? Yeah. If you look in New York City right now, there are laws in terms of, or rules, not technically laws, there are rules in place of how many people can gather an outside location. So if I wanted to have a concert right now, and I said, you know what, I'm only going to have, I think it's like 500 people show up. They would come and they would shut it down and say, you can't do that. But what compounds the problem then is I look outside my window and there's 5,000 people marching down the street in a protest.
But it's a protest.
But that's allowed.
What's a protest?
Again, but that's allowed. And so regardless of whether you think what's right, what's wrong, doesn't matter. What you end up having is there's too many people in a population to please everybody. And so you're always going to have somebody who's upset. But this gets kind of put on steroids when somebody says, wait a second, I can't go outside and earn a living, yet the people are out there and they're protesting in the streets. They're doing all this stuff. And so what you then get is you get multiple types of protests. So in the United States, you get the social kind of civil rights type protests, right? Where people are saying, hey, we're protesting police brutality. We're protesting racism, all of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I actually agree with that. We should all be in the street, right? But then on the other side, you can't get mad when people say, wait a second, you're taking my ability to make money away from me. And everyone kind of was scared back in March. This is the most important part because this is going to get worse. Here's my next prediction. Not only that there's going to be protests all around the world, it's going to get worse from here. And here's why. In the United States in March, there was absolute chaos and uncertainty. There was this economic shock. Nobody knew what was happening and markets were dying. All this craziness was going on. The US government stepped in. And when they stepped in, what did they do? They flooded the market with liquidity. They literally $3 trillion of liquidity in the United States, the Federal Reserve's balance sheet expanded by. And so when that happened, everyone said, wait a second, is this really going to be that bad? I'm going on unemployment. I'm making $600 extra on top of the unemployment insurance. I'm actually making more money than I was making at work. Wait a second, the stock market's going up. Like, this isn't that bad. But the relief is going to run out. So at the end of this month, as of right now, that extra $600 a month for unemployment insurance, that's going to go away. The stock market, can they pump the stock market all the way until November to the election? We're going to find out. But at some point, it is the pain of the recession is exposed.
It'll screech to a halt.
You just can't cover up the pain of the recession. And so that's what's going to occur here is wait till all of a sudden the relief payments, the stimulus checks, the bailout money, all that stuff starts to run out. Wait till all of a sudden the people who received PPP money or bailout money can start firing their employees. And all of a sudden they're dumping hundreds of thousands, if not millions of employees on the street.
I have two things.
Yes.
One, I read an article that talked about how a lot of small business owners are finally like throwing in the towel and saying, we can't go on any longer because there seems to be no end to this.
Of course.
Governors are opening, shutting back down. And what pisses me off the most is that the governments have kind of been able to get away with blaming the people. Like, you are the problem. You're not wearing your masks. You're putting us in this position. And it's like, no, sir, you had no plan to begin with.
Here's the hot take of all hot takes, because it's not really a hot take. If you look at the coverage of Andrew Cuomo, who's the governor of New York, this is the best example I have. Andrew Cuomo is responsible for over 30,000 deaths attributed to COVID. New York State has more deaths than anywhere else in the United States by almost 2x. The next highest state from the last numbers I saw was 17,000. So New York State is the worst state by almost 2x. Andrew Cuomo is on television taking a victory lap. He's literally talking about how we're New York tough. We crushed the curve, all this stuff. Hey, idiot. You single-handedly were touting a policy in which you took COVID patients and sent them back into nursing homes afterwards, which led to an immense amount of those 30,000+ deaths were in the nursing homes in New York. And then, because his brother is a CNN anchor, he goes on CNN and him and his brother are joking around. But here's how I know the tide is turning. Jake Tapper, who's a CNN, it's a colleague of Andrew Cuomo's brother, recently called all this nonsense out. He said, you guys are taking a victory lap. You're literally selling posters about being New York tough. You're doing all this stuff saying how good you did. You got 30,000 people killed. More people died in New York than anywhere else.
That's crazy. And
this is getting exposed now because now the people are waking up and they're realizing, wait a second, the government not only killed the economy, the government got people killed.
But if you think about it, people aren't just going to sit around and blame themselves. They're going to try to find a scapegoat in all of this, and it probably will be the government at some point.
Of course.
Anyway,
all right, what's going on with Twitter?
That
was my rant for the day.
That was a good rant.
Welcome back.
Okay, Twitter. There was a massive Twitter hack yesterday. Of the accounts that were hacked were ex-president Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Apple and Uber corporate accounts, as well as pop star Kanye West.
Is he a pop star or is he a rap star?
Oh, look at all the people.
Yeah. Look,
Floyd Mayweather.
I mean, I'm kind of upset I didn't get hacked. If everyone's going to get hacked, like, hey.
He was sitting here being like, oh my God, I can't tweet. Does this mean I got hacked? And I was like, chill out. I can't tweet either. And I'm sure they didn't hack me.
So long story short is what happened with Twitter is there are now reports surfacing that in underground hacker forums, people are coming out and saying that some of these hackers paid a Twitter employee that kind of went rogue to give them access. And there's this admin dashboard where basically you can do all kinds of crazy stuff, including tweet for accounts and all that kind of stuff. And so obviously what has occurred here is a inside attack, right? Like basically they got inside the Twitter account. Two things that I think are really interesting. One, a number of people reported that their accounts were compromised, even though they had two-factor authentication on. So that means that basically
they were SIM swapped.
No.
Oh.
The two-factor wasn't foiled, but they still were able to get access to the account.
How does that work?
Because once you get inside the system, basically you have all these extra controls, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's very rare that somebody gets inside Twitter. Usually they're hacking the end user. This time they hacked Twitter and were able to do stuff. So that's first of all. Second of all is there was only $100,000 sent to the Bitcoin wallet address.
It's still a lot of money.
My guess is nobody sent money. My guess is that that's actually the hackers sending transactions to make it look like there's actually people sending money in.
You don't think a single person was like, let me pull out my
Well, when I first saw the report very early on, like 4:30 or so, there was $100,000 that had already been sent. And by the end of all of this, there's still like, I don't know, $110,000. So my guess is that the hackers did a bunch of the early transactions. And then through the life of it, there wasn't that much more money sent.
Hackers freak me out.
Yeah. But you know whose account wasn't hacked? Donald Trump. Do you know why?
I said that. I was asking.
Do you know why?
No, but I was asking.
Because his account previously had issues. That it got deleted by a Twitter employee previously.
Oh, you think it's like hyper secure?
That's what the reports are saying, is basically after that past incident, they put even more security around the President of the United States account. So it was even harder to get in. So now my guess is that they're going to go and they're going to do that with all verified accounts.
Do you guys remember when that like foreign exchange, not student, but like worker at Twitter accidentally deleted Trump's account?
No.
Or no, not deleted. What did he do?
No, deleted it. It wasn't accidental. It was like
accidental.
Yeah, it was a malicious, like, rogue employee.
I don't think it was malicious and
Positive.
rogue.
There was no accident.
We'll look into this.
Let's put it this way. That guy doesn't work at Twitter anymore.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, what's going on with StockX?
StockX is an online sneaker reseller. It has seen a huge surge in the number of Air Jordan shoes submitted and listed to the website after The Last Dance documentary came out. That's so crazy that like a documentary can have such a huge impact on businesses like that.
Well, just reminded, like, the generation of kids today, they know that Jordans are valuable, but when they hear Jordan, they know he was a basketball player, but they think of the brand. Like, oh, I wear my Jordans.
Really?
Right?
I don't think that.
Yeah, because like that's what it is, right? It's all about like buying Jordans, collecting Jordans, doing all that. Then they watch this thing, they're like, oh, this is where it all started. So of course there's going to be a resurgence in one, from people who watch Michael Jordan play. There's nostalgia, like, man, he was so good. Two is a bunch of kids are like, damn, he really might have been the best player in the world. And then three is people who see the shoes, like, here we go, here value goes up again. And so of course there's going to be more economic activity as there's price volatility, similar to what happens with Bitcoin or stocks. And so, I mean, like, it makes sense, but it's cool to see the actual data and see the CEO of StockX like confirm, yes, we're seeing way more interest after that documentary.
The Jordan effect is real.
By the way, Ben Baller, who I've had on the podcast, awesome guy. If for those of you who are into music and stuff, you've probably heard in songs, Ben Baller did the chain. He does all of the celebrity jewelry. Ben first made money. He had a massive Jordan sneaker collection and sold it for a couple $1 million. So there's people out there who are like really big sneakerheads and can make quite a bit of money if they're smart about how they collect shoes. All right, American Airlines.
All right, let's talk about your American Airlines real quick. So American Airlines said it backed unions' push to extend payroll support through the end of March 2021. The airline statement came in a furlough warning to 25,000 employees. Airlines can't lay off any workers until October 1st under the terms of the $25 billion federal payroll aid situation.
The U.S. government was the sucker in the room.
Wait, so what are they asking for? They just want to extend?
Well, a couple of things have happened. So first, the airline industry has gotten decimated in terms of demand, right, because of coronavirus. And so revenue dropped off a map. The federal government stepped in and bailed them out. And what they basically did is they gave $25 billion to the airline industry, of which approximately 2/3 was a grant. 1/3 of the money was a low interest rate loan. So the low interest rate loan, we lent you the money, you pay us back with 1, 2, 3% interest. Fine. Still not great terms, but at least the American taxpayer gets interest on their money. The 2/3 of the money was a grant. It literally was just a freebie. And the reason why I say the government was the idiot in the room or the sucker in the room is no investor would ever give a company billions of dollars without getting interest or equity for that capital. But the US government did it. So part of the rules of accepting the money was you cannot fire employees. You cannot change their salary, right?
Or lay them off.
Yes, fire them, right? Lay them off. And kind of all of these other aspects to it. What people are already forgetting, we have short-term memory loss, is what the airlines actually did, though, was they would say something like, you know what, Polina, you get paid $12 an hour. We're not going to change your $12 an hour because that would violate the rules. But you will work 40 hours a week this week. Next week, you're only going to work 30. And they took hours away. Yeah. So they ended up paying Polina only 3/4 of what she previously made, but it still fit within the rules. Right? It was a loophole that they found. And so that kind of violates the spirit of the deal. But two is now what they're saying is, hey, in October, we're going to fire a bunch of people or furlough them because they have to. They can't make the economics work. And so, yes, the U.S. government's injection of capital has postponed these issues. But at some point, the government or the airlines are going to have to do this. And so what? So
you're saying like everyone's just going to dump people.
Yeah. Unemployment's going to explode when all the PPP money, they can gets unlocked and they can fire everybody.
So
But what they're asking here for is, can we get more money through March of next year, right? Like,
so it's not as abrupt.
Well, then it'll just be abrupt then,
Wow.
right? Like, they're hoping that demand comes back. Same thing with the unemployment insurance. If unemployment goes out in July, all of a sudden a bunch of people are going to be making way less money and without a job than right now.
Do we think there will be protests in the US over unemployment and lack of jobs? And
yeah, I mean, look, I have already said this before. I personally believe that majority of the people that are protesting are doing it for police brutality, racism, etc. There is some portion. It may only be 5% of people are out there because there's pain around the economic shock, and that has kind of exasperated the issue. If for some reason these benefits all expire and we see tens of millions of Americans on unemployment and there's no hope. Like, hope is the most important piece here, because the hope of the economy is going to reopen, jobs are going to come back, I'll go back to work. At least people have something to look forward to. When the people lose hope, that is when you get the really bad protests, right? That's when you get the riots. And
I think that's what we got earlier.
Well, there's definitely a loss of hope in terms of police brutality, racism, all of that. If it happens on the economic side, you'll have even more people in the street. All right, Google Meet.
Google is taking on Zoom and Slack by building video calls and chat into Gmail for business users. I'm sorry, Google, nobody's going to use your thing.
Ooh.
I'm not going to use it. So that means no one's going to use it.
Hot take. I think actually a lot of people use it on an aggregate number, but in comparison, Zoom is more popular.
Nobody says, hey, do you want to Google video?
No, but because of the moat it has in terms of being in the Google Calendar invite and things like that, there's still plenty of people that use it. I don't know if they publish any sort of user metrics, but my guess is that it's tens of millions of people use it on a monthly basis. Gmail has 1.5 billion active users. Think about
G Suite has 6. Okay, hold on.
6 million businesses in G Suite.
But what's interesting is it's going to add the video thing to Google Sheets. So Google Docs, sorry. So when you're like collaborating on something, you can just like video call the other person who's in the doc.
Yeah,
that's kind of nice.
Look, I'm not a Google hater. Like,
I love Google, but
that's what they have to do, right? To compete in this world, like, they're going to have to do things that they have an advantage to do that Zoom of the world can't do. So, like, that makes sense.
My mom's favorite company is Google because she says she doesn't know how she used to live without it. Okay.
Migraine drug. What?
Okay. So this is interesting. I don't know if it's interesting, but it's just kind of odd. So Biohaven Pharmaceuticals lands Khloe Kardashian as influencer of its new migraine drug. So I know this happens, like they're spokespeople for drug companies, but it's kind of weird, no? Like to have an influencer market or be the face of your migraine drug?
It really depends. There's kind of two ways to look at it, right? So first of all, does it make sense from the company to have somebody who's so public?
This is a no coughing household.
To go and publish or go promote it and drive sales. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. What I'm actually kind of surprised by is once you get into kind of the heavily regulated industry like healthcare or finance, and you have influencers, like it'd be kind of weird to see Khloe Kardashian be like, hey, go buy, Biohaven Pharmaceuticals for your migraine. By the way, disclaimer, there's Surgeon General says, whatever. So she may come up with something kind of unique in how they present that, but there's definitely going to be more restrictions around what can be said and how they do it than in.
But I just always worry. I always worry when you put influencers promoting drugs, because it's like suddenly, what if there's a surge in this migraine drug for people who don't necessarily need it and they're getting prescribed? And it's just, I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't know either. But look, this is the way the world's going. Influencers run the world. What's up with Mars?
All right.
There's a helicopter on Mars?
Yeah. NASA's Mars Perseverance rover is obviously the star of the Mars 2020 mission. The rover is designed to be the most capable piece of hardware ever sent to the red planet, and it will have the ability to sample the Martian soil, search for hints of ancient life, and even pick up samples of soil to eventually return to Earth.
But is it a helicopter?
So
it's a pint-sized dual propeller helicopter that will ride to Mars in the belly of the Perseverance rover. What?
Yeah.
They're going to send another Mars rover, and the rover comes equipped with a helicopter?
But the helicopter doesn't have any specific objectives related to Mars exploration. It's more of a proof of concept than anything else, that it's possible to fly in the incredibly thin Martian atmosphere. That's kind of cool.
Yo, humans are awesome. They're like, yeah, we can't send humans to Mars. We're going to sell a helicopter.
Look at this tiny little thing.
That is awesome.
But so it'll just basically test.
What do you think the aliens would do if all of a sudden they saw a helicopter flying around? Be like, damn, we didn't even think y'all could get here. Now y'all got your helicopters?
But they have a rover thing there.
Do we send it with weapons?
No. Why would you need weapons? There's like no life. There's like barely dirt.
What do you mean?
There are no aliens on Mars, Anthony.
Speak for yourself. Did you know there's water on Mars?
No.
Fact.
How is there water?
Google it real quick. Hurry up. We got 10 seconds. Not really, but we got time. Mars, water. Oh, almost all water on Mars today exists as ice, though it also exists in small quantities as vapor in the atmosphere. Some liquid water may occur transiently. On the Martian surface today, but limited to traces of dissolved moisture. See, everybody needs to read the internet.
Just because there's water doesn't mean there's like beings.
You didn't even know that water was on Mars until 13 seconds ago.
Whatever.
So just so we're clear, if there's water on Mars and the atmosphere is similar to Earth, why couldn't there be life on Mars?
There could be.
There is, probably.
Okay, ready for my joke?
Yeah, what's up?
You cool cats and kittens.
Oh my God.
Okay. Hold on, I forgot it.
You forgot the joke? No, you can't say the joke. It's over. It's over. You forgot the joke. It's over. Did you forget it again?
No. Right. Why did the bicycle collapse?
Why did the bicycle collapse?
Yeah.
Because it was wheeling.
No.
Why?
Wheeling and dealing. No. Because it was too tired.
What?
Get it? TWO, tired. Like two tires, but it was too
TWO?
Like two, tired. Come on.
If you got to explain the joke, it's not so funny.
I normally have to tell the joke to intelligent people, not people who are like, what?
Can I give you a suggestion on your joke telling?
What?
If you emphasize the parts of the joke, then people will laugh more.
Too tired.
Because it was too tired.
Okay. I'm not speaking to kindergartners.
See how you're laughing?
I'm not speaking to kindergartners.
I'm a kindergartner.
Okay.
I'm a very mature child. All right, guys, that's it for Lunch Money today. Well, Wall Street's trying to get rich. The rest of us is trying to get our lunch money right. Polina will hopefully bring better jokes, because if she doesn't,
that was my best
joke segment is going to get left on the cutting floor. See you guys tomorrow.
Bang, bang. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Lunch Money as much as we did.
And don't forget, Lunch Money is now sponsored by BlockFi, so go check them out. There's a link in the description that you can click on. I'm an investor, a user, and a huge fan. What?
You're a bigger fan of BlockFi than you are of me?
BlockFi is my second favorite thing in the world behind Polina. They've got 3 products. They can give you a US dollar loan. You can earn up to 8.6% interest on an interest-bearing account, or you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies on their crypto exchange. I personally use the interest-bearing account. There's not very many places where you'll find up to 8.6% interest on a deposit in an interest-bearing account. Go do your own research. There's risk associated, but 8.6% is pretty compelling. So click on the link in the description. Say thanks to the folks at BlockFi. Subscribe to our channel. Like the video. Annoy Polina in the comments. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
And be kind to your friends.